Take the perspective of the moon, an indifferent existence in the universe. For around 4.5 billion years, it has been orbiting a vibrant blue planet. It doesn't mind the repetitive motion, and the vast universe beyond this gravitational bond is of no significance to it. Its existence just focuses around this perpetual circling, although it's hard to say that it has a focus at all. If a human were to ask the moon, not without some admiration, how it can remain so detached and serene from its situation, it would not understand the question. After all, what is care and what is caring too much? Why would one search for meaning in one's condition? These concepts are all too human, too alien to an indifferent existence like the moon. Perhaps humans are the strange ones, these transient beings, easily destroyed by the slightest blow or radiation in space, have such complex inner worlds and an inexplicable fascination with this giant rock in space. They even possess an intense desire to reach it, willing to risk their lives for a landing on the moon, as though it's the most important thing in the world. And they do this with a sense of urgency, as if it's now or never. Okay, now let's flip the scenario. Imagine a human placed in the situation of the moon, realizing that you've been orbiting this random blue planet for billions of years. You might start to wonder, how did I end up here doing this? If there is an end to me, will the universe be any different? If not, why should we keep orbiting this random planet for another billion years? What is the nature of my existence? And what role do I play in the cosmos? You see, suddenly, this perpetual circling feels absurd. You become skeptical of your circumstances and question the point of it all. For what purpose? To what end? Such questions can undoubtedly stir an inner crisis. I give this example to illustrate the peculiar condition of being human. As human beings, we have two natural characteristics. First, we have an inherent tendency to view our lives, goals, and challenges as deeply significant. This ability to create and assign meaning to things, people, and causes makes us passionate, persistent, and imaginative. It drives us to strive for excellence and even to sacrifice ourselves for the people and causes we care about. And second, we possess the capacity to step outside of ourselves, to take perspective beyond our immediate experience. This ability allows us to evaluate our lives from an external viewpoint. And in everyday life, this combination often leads us to ask ourselves questions like, why climb a mountain if it doesn't change the mountain at all? Why hosting running competitions when we can never truly outrun even the most common animals around us? Why accumulate possessions when we cannot take them with us in the end? And why pursue a career when in the grand scheme of the universe, our achievement might seem insignificant? Why running the risk of getting hurt to seek relationships if, in the vastness of time, they will eventually fade and be forgotten? You see, when our capacity for meaning-making meets our ability to see things differently, a contradiction emerges. From a distant vantage point, whether in time or in space, the seriousness with which we approach our lives can seem misplaced or trivial. And questioning the ultimate significance of our pursuits is a common experience for us as humans. So, if we cannot avoid encountering this issue or situation, what can we do about it? First, I believe that feelings of absurdity or even futility in life shouldn't be seen as personality flaws, pathologies, or something to be feared and suppressed. In today's world, I think there is a widespread obsession with staying positive and avoiding discomfort. And existential doubts, those deep questions about meaning, purpose, and existence, are often not viewed as positive experiences. They are seen as inconvenient or unproductive, sometimes even as problems needing medical intervention. So there is a hilarious scene from the movie Annie Hall that captures this perfectly. It shows just how tough it can be, even and especially for kids, to express their philosophical musings. In the scene, 9-year-old Alvy is taken to the psychiatrist by his worried mother because he's lost interest in everything. He stopped doing his homework, she exclaims. And Alvey explains that he doesn't see the point of doing anything because the universe is expanding and one day everything will be destroyed. And his mom, clearly frustrated, snaps back. What has the universe got to do with it? You are here in Brooklyn, and Brooklyn is not expanding. And this scene, which is from the 70s, highlights a real issue that still persists today. We often view fundamental doubts and struggles in life as negative or even pathological, rather than an essential part of the human existence and opportunities for gaining self-knowledge and achieve individual growth. And this reflects a broader cultural discomfort with uncertainty and doubt. In a society that pressures us to be constantly productive and focused on work, consumption, and pleasure, there's a tendency to suppress existential feelings, sometimes through mindless consumption, medication, or even intoxication. But what if instead we use these feelings as opportunities to reflect on our values and what truly matters in our life? By embracing this process of questioning and reflection, we can develop greater self-awareness and achieve a deeper understanding of what it means to be a human. My second point is that we can only address the feeling of absurdity effectively when we understand where it comes from. So think about it. Absurdity arises when we search for ultimate purpose, reason, and validation outside our own subjective experience. Consider this when we ask questions like, why does my life matter in the grand scheme of the universe? Or what is the ultimate purpose of existence? Or will my work still matter in 100 or 1,000 years? We are actually searching for our worth in something external, the cosmos, the future society, or the nature, or some overarching principle. When we base our sense of value entirely on these external factors, life can start to feel meaningless if they cannot guarantee the validation we expect. This outward focus can easily lead to feelings of cynicism and despair, causing us to lose sight of what makes life meaningful in the first place. We might start to feel like giving up, seeing life as a cruel joke, or even resorting to self-sabotaging behaviors. And it's not just our lives that seem meaningless in this state of deep cynicism. We might even extend this view to everyone else's life as well, and dismiss their efforts, aspirations, and struggles as equally pointless. But here's the thing, not everything in life needs to be justified by external validation, right? Let's take a look at the example of moon landing. Many of us intuitively understand there is something inherently meaningful about venturing into space. Even if these missions, including the failed ones, don't make sense from the perspective of a satellite or planet, they resonate with us. They tap into intrinsic values like our love of the universe, or a sense of wonder, and humanity's drive for self-transcendence. And these are values that hold significance not because they are validated by some external measure, but because they are deeply rooted in our human experiences. So ultimately, I think finding and embracing intrinsic meaning is the most important personal journey for us. It involves looking within rather than constantly seeking validation from the outside, from the cosmos. Embracing the idea of absurdity can actually have a positive side. Because it makes us more open-minded, flexible, and less inclined to impose our views on others. So take traditional Chinese culture, for example. There is a strong emphasis on continuing the family bloodline, particularly through the male side. And the highest ideal is multi-generational living, where elders live with their children and extended family, often with 3 or 4 generations under one roof. A tradition known as 四世同堂, which is also considered as perfect and complete 完满. And this belief system gives many people a sense of purpose and something to look forward to in their future. However, when the continuation of the bloodline and multi-generational living are treated as absolute objective values or the only legitimate meaning of life, they can become very limiting and even lead to despair. People who, for various reasons, cannot have children or achieve multi-generational living may feel like their lives are failures or pointless. And even those who succeed in these pursuits are not necessarily happier. After decades of hard work, many retirees may feel pressure to stay at home raising grandchildren instead of exploring new possibilities in their communities. And younger people may struggle to choose their own partner or lifestyles according to their preferences or be open to their sexual orientations. So absurdity in this case can help us to recognize the potential arbitrariness of our pursuits. For example, we can ask ourselves if our only purpose in life is to continue the cycle of life, such as reproducing and ensuring the survival of species without any deeper or even more profound meaning, does this purpose feel fulfilling? If the pursuit of a goal, like continuing the cycle of life, starts to negatively impact others by limiting their freedom, infringing on their rights, or causing harm, should it still be considered the right path for every single person at any time? Don't get me wrong, I'm not dismissing the value of caring for the next generation or building a multi-generational family. Rather, I think that many of the goals we strive for, while meaningful, may lack absolute objective significance when viewed from a broader perspective. And the key is to fully own our decisions while recognizing that there are many legitimate ways to live a life. And when we choose to prioritize family or nurture future generations or become child-free, we should do so with the understanding that these are our chosen values. And by taking responsibility for our choices, we affirm our freedom to create meaning in our lives and even amid life's inherent uncertainty. And this approach allows us to live authentically, understanding that the meaning we find in life is something we actively shape, not something handed down to us. So there you have it, today's exploration on why we keep asking what's the point of it all, and our innate ability to perceive life as absurd. If you found value in today's conversation, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts in the comment section below. I would love to hear that how do you confront life's absurdities. So thank you so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Bye.